a good group of folks to answer some of your questions specific to either the competition angle, the team angle, and how it was out there today. So, Joe, we'll start with you. What's the purpose of today's test overall, and how did you see the first session go today?
Well, our goals today are to work on the tapered spacer and find the correct tapered spacer for the engine when we get back for the actual race. We have various different sizes that we're testing out today. Along with that, we're testing the rear gear to make sure we have the correct RPMs. This will be, when we get back for the race, will be the first race for the Nationwide Series to use tapered spacers at a race like Daytona or Talladega. We're moving away from our restrictor plates, and that'll allow the teams to have a little more RPM in their engines. With that, we're just working with all the teams, working on the travels that are on the car, and making sure that the drivability is in the car itself.
Brett, how about you? Also from a competition side, what did you see out there so far today?
Well, Joe pretty much covered the reasons why we needed the test and get cars on the racetrack, and give these teams the opportunity and some time to get the car sorted out. And of course, from the NASCAR side, we definitely want to make sure that we have the competition elements in place and the teams are aware of them as much prior to the event as possible. As Joe said, the tapered spacer side, the rear end gear, and of course the aerodynamic package. So we'll work through that, and the drafting sessions will be the most important for us to get that data and then make our decisions and get that to the teams.
Brian, your first time out there in a new car in the Nationwide Series. Why don't you talk about how things went out there for you today as well so far?
Well, it's interesting. I was hoping that they were going to handle a little bit more similarly to a truck to a Camping World Truck Series than they did. I thought with the splitter in the front, the wingtip spoiler deal that we had, I thought it'd create hopefully a similar balance. Granted, I knew that the downforce would be less, and right now it's been an eye-opening experience. They're definitely interesting. They're more of a handful than any other piece of equipment that I've drove around here, and it could just be what we're struggling with. We're trying some setup things. We're trying to get our travels right. We still have travel limiters, bump stops in the front to make sure we don't drag, and we're kind of slowly trying to work them out and trying to get our platform and handling and everything right. And it's a slow process. Right now, we're probably not ready to draft, or if we did, it'd be pretty exciting. And we're just going to keep working at it, just like you would at a short track, trying to get the handling and the grip and the balance and everything right where you need it. But it seems like we have decent speed. It's nice to have a little bit more throttle response with the tapered spacer that NASCAR is allowing us to use right now. And I just hope that the test goes well and we figure out that the package, like we're running right now, is what we're going to come back here with.
Shelby, how about you? You got out there for a few laps so far today with your new piece from ML Motorsports. How was it for you out there today so far?
Pretty similar to what Brian has said. He's the first driver I got to talk to yet this morning, but I only got on the racetrack twice, and definitely had my hands full a little bit, but the front splitter on these things, they're, like Brian said, similar to the trucks, and we were working on getting that off the racetrack because we're hitting the racetrack pretty hard. But I am excited to see how they do draft this afternoon, but in our situation, and it sounds like Brian's in the same boat, we got to get ours driving a little better on its own before we get out there drafting. But definitely exciting. They have good speed, and looking forward to this afternoon.
Have any questions for Joe or Brett, Brian or Shelby? Give us your name, affiliation, please, before you ask.
Mark Dakotas from Florida Today for either Brett or Joe. How many teams aren't here today or won't be here tomorrow, and are you concerned that they might be behind the eight ball when they come back for the race? Thank you.
Well, we've got approximately 32 cars here. That makes up about 25 different car numbers. So you've got 25 cars kind of spread out throughout the field. The teams, have had plenty of information about this test and when it was going to be, and it's all based upon when the teams started their project and those type of things. It wasn't that like this was a surprise to anybody that we're going to be down here this weekend. So we want to make sure that the teams are working towards the goal. The other thing that we have going is when we get down for the event, we'll have an additional day of practice at the track, and those teams that aren't here will be able to get time on the racetrack before the actual event starts. So there's various phases of teams in how they're working towards getting to the Daytona here in July.
I want to add a couple points to that. Joe's really correct on the early day coming in. A lot of the teams are just planning on using that day, just like these teams are here today, to get themselves up to speed. And of course, a lot of these teams are going to carry back a lot of information. We'll get shared in the garage area, I'm sure, to the teams that didn't come here, or a good portion of that information. One thing that is important to know is we've had 85 nationwide chassis certified through the process at the R&D Center. So there's a large number of eligible chassis out there to be built for the event, and I think that's a very good testament to how well prepared the series really is coming into this the use of this new car.
And plus, all 4 manufacturers are here, and they're gathering data to share with the teams that aren't here as well.
Dwight Drum, racetape.com. Brett, could you talk a little bit about what fans should know about the development and the safety that's going into the car?
Well, the key point is that this is the same chassis, center section of the car that is used in the Cup Series, and we've all seen the on-track testaments to how safe that car is, and certainly bringing it to the Nationwide Series with a different look is an exciting thing for the race fans, with the different nameplates that are being used, and of course just the overall styling of the car and the look of the car certainly gives the Nationwide car its own identity, and I think the race fans are going to really embrace it once they get an eye full of it here in July, and of course the 3 other events. So going forward, looking for the 2011 season to be an awesome year for the Nationwide Series with this car in full swing.
Yeah, Dave Rodman with NASCAR.com. First for Joe, this morning was the same tapered spacer and the same rear gear used, and can you tell us what size they were each, please?
Yeah, well, we gave the team a couple of options this morning. Some of the teams went ahead and built a tapered spacer to run a tapered spacer only, which was the 15/16 tapered spacer. We also gave them an option to run a tapered spacer with a restrictor plate underneath it. We had a number of manufacturers do some comparison tests for us so we can get an evaluation of tapered spacer to spacer with restrictor plate. And the tapered spacers that were available with a restrictor plate was a 1.062 tapered spacer with a 31/32 restrictor plate underneath it. And so they had either or, and then they had their choice of either a 340 or 345 gear based upon what the teams had available to them.